welcome back to Zolonka. And first thing you want to do when you get any tractor and you want to do some farming is to start the engine. I know pro tips here from the farmer type person. So we slept last time, and the thing that we want to do today is I'm going to nip over here because I think there's some fertilizer lurking over here, which we are going to load into the fertilizer spreader. I know all of the farming tips right here where you need them. There we go. So I want to get the second lot of fertilizer onto the oats. What I am not going to do today is sleep. Sleep is for the weak. No. I have a test that I want to do this week. So I was actually struggling to think of the tutorial video that I wanted to do this week. And in the Begeisterland video, some of you may not be watching that because, you know, it's so out of date. I'm playing FS22. Who wants to play that? And I'm playing Terra Life Plus. Not everyone likes Terra Life Plus. But I was musing about, with precision farming, which we know from FS22, about whether the impact of spraying herbicide versus mechanical weeding and that kind of thing. And I'm curious in FS25 about the difference in yield between applying herbicide or mechanical weeding or just ignoring it, because it did remind me that basically with precision farming in FS22, that you essentially got the same yield applying herbicide whether you left the weeds or not. So I want to do that test this week. It's probably too late for this field, but yeah, I am just flat out curious as to what happens with weeds. Why are we not fertilizing? I bet I've got narrower working width, haven't I? Yeah. Oh well. Do we really want to? Yeah, we probably do want to fertilize the very edge of the field. Let's just narrow down the working width. Again, all of your pro farming tips. Before you start working with your tool, check that you know how your tool works. Yeah. So I want to do that test to check how things are maybe different in FS25. I think it'll be an interesting video. And so he's back with the sows. He's back, so he's not sowing, he's fertilizing. Back with the jokes as well. I've been a little bit, not necessarily struggling, but lacking inspiration for tutorial type videos lately. And this one just jumped at me from that. And that's really where the passion for making tutorials came from. Was I want to know about a thing, and this is a thing I want to know about. So that's the perfect reason to make a tutorial video in my mind. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a tutorial video. It's so cool that those oak trees have come up. I think that's a brilliant addition to the farm. Yeah. So that's the plan. They're okay. Cool. We are going to grab those pallets in a bit. So, yep. Let's reset our working width. I'm going to go to 30 meters, and I'm going to actually set the GPS to 30 meters because we might as well do the poplar while we're here, if we can, assuming they've progressed a growth state, so that we can actually do that. Into the field. There we go. No, too far. Went too far. So, I think I was musing. It might have been in the Begeisterland video about needing to tidy up the office that I work in at home I did over the weekend. Oh, it's so much nicer to sit in here and work. I am unexpectedly working at home today on Monday, because Mrs. D was not very well yesterday, and we had to run around and do a few things. I didn't get much sleep, so I've swapped around my office days to be working at home today. And around that, sneaking in a little bit of video production. So, yep. Getting a little bit ahead for the week, which is quite nice. You know, which is quite nice. But the lack of sleep, not so nice. But hey, when am I ever not tired? Yeah. We have to go up to the store to pick up the pig food. I'm going to move those pallets. And did I just say I've added in universal auto load? Not sure if I did, but yeah, we're going to start making our lives a little bit easier. We probably need to take the trailer up to the store to configure universal auto load. I'm sure by now most of you have seen the awesome way that Loki has changed universal auto load, so that you can do that configuration in the menu, in the build menu, in the garage menu. God, you noob. Yeah, but we'll run up to the store now. We should probably take that bag of seed off. The seed, yeah. Right. It would have probably been useful to leave the weight of the bag of fur on the back to do that. But yeah, let's just grab pallet forks. Grab pallet forks. Makes my northern viewers feel at home or horrendously insulted. One or the other. Either way, yeah, there's no losses there. So with the grass growing, the bales of hay are somewhat superfluous, apart from the fact that potentially we'll need them in the winter. The reason that I want to move those pallets of lime and seed is, since we were last here, and in fact, I think pretty much after I finished recording the last video on here, I think the day after I finished recording it, pretty much as it released, the mini BGA became available. God, that's a sensible combination, isn't it? Really helping physics out there. The mini BGA released, so we have it available to us. I'm not in a huge rush to get it built, for the simple reason that we don't have a lot of fuel for it at the moment. And as much as I would like to, I don't think we can really build the concrete cow version on here. Well, they're 95% fermented actually, because if we go in time-saving stock check, we've got 1,000 litres of manure. We've got a decent amount of slurry. But yeah, I think we'd struggle. I think we'd struggle to run it, to be honest. So I think we're going to go for what I consider to be the normal one. It's labeled as the fast one. Yeah, I consider it to be the normal one. And that'll just start generating us some income. We don't really have a farm that's set up to support something like the concrete cow versions. I'm playing with, I've just built one of those on the Frontier multiplayer one, because I haven't really experimented with them much. So I made the mod back in November, and because I knew that testing was going to be a really long time, I didn't want to incorporate it into the Let's Play, because, and this is just my opinion, Different people do things differently, and that's absolutely fine. I didn't want to be using it and have people asking constantly when can they download it, and essentially complaining that Giants took too long to test stuff, because it takes as long as it takes Giants to test things, in my opinion. And it really doesn't bother me how long it takes them to test things. I'm only changing the design so that we can try and force the customization. I'm not sure if it takes otherwise, and I want to increase the height of the load. Yeah. Right, let's load up the pig food. We could really do with a bigger trailer at this point, but oh well. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, I do want to incorporate it and then have to tell people, well, it's not available yet, and knowing that the time for testing was huge. So I haven't really played with it a lot, because most of my farm sim gameplay is what you guys see. And then the only other farm sim gameplay has been on the multiplayer server, and because that it's not completely public, but somewhat, in that people can pay to join. I didn't want to put it on there because it's paid to join. They're not necessarily, it's not people that I can't completely control who has access to it, so I can't control the release of it. So yeah, it hasn't been on the multiplayer server until it was available on ModHub. That's not to say that I don't trust the people that are using the server currently, but I couldn't control who joined it. So yeah. And there are malicious people in the world. So, anywho, so I had the conclusion of that really long-winded passage is I haven't really played with it until today. And so yeah, started using it today. I think I'm probably going to do an update to at the very least the fast versions, probably the concrete cow version as well. And what I want to do, I think, is tweak them, certainly the concrete cow versions. So it might be quite difficult. I honestly haven't looked at it, but I just started thinking about it this morning, so that the capacities for the concrete cow versions better match the recipes. Because at the moment I just use the default capacities that I had last time. Yeah. Now I think I have to wait an amount of time before I can submit an update, so that will be a little while. But yeah, it's in my mind. It's not going to be a super high priority, because life has, a way of throwing stuff at us all. So don't bug about, has it happened yet? And to be honest, even once I submit it, I probably won't, make a big deal of saying when it's been submitted, because you never know how long testing's going to take, and will it fail testing and all that kind of thing. But if folks have genuinely useful suggestions, please submit them. Or, just not submit. Stick them in the comments below, and I'll consider them. One thing I'm really not keen to make is that a bulk silo. I'm wondering if I can just throw the lime in there. Would appear not. I'm not going to make a version that has everything in it. And So I ranted about this a little bit in the Begeischland video. There is a reason for that. So the concrete cow variants are meant to be more difficult to use. And it's just the way it is. Now, that could be seen as me being unhelpful, and that's fine. I'm a grumpy bugger sometimes. But I don't feel it's in the spirit of that. In the same way that I'm not probably not going to make the capacities of them absolutely huge. Because that doesn't really feel in this, it's a small building. Now, he says that. I'm using some of Omatana's mods on the Frontier save, and I'm really enjoying like the TARDIS trailers, fermenting silo, which holds loads. So, having just said that, there's a bit of me that goes, actually, screw it, make a mega all-in-one version. I might make it cost more. Oh, I'm questioning myself so much. Bit of me doesn't want it because I don't want to make that annoying person happy. But right, what I want to do now is go into the construction menu, and I just want to see if it does fit. Awesome. Now, you're thinking, because you're blocking the entrance to the manure pit. Yeah, I am. Doesn't really matter because we can just use the trigger. And probably sensible, put it that way around. The building is just about coping with the uneven ground. If we back it right into the corner, yeah. Not unhappy with that. Right. Not going to sell the lettuce yet. Ooh, I bet that's a horrible one. Spinach, I'm not doing a spinach harvest that big. You can write off. I did a spinach harvest on the frontier. It was horrible. It was horrible. We're not doing what? Baling. 7 grand's worth of baling. I think we might grab that. They want square bales. I hate that they require a specific bale type. We're going to borrow the items because that's not a bad deal. It's not that far from the store either. So yeah, let's borrow the items. There we go. And actually quite a nice setup. It's actually quite a nice setup. And yeah, we'll head field 48. So it's basically on the way back to our farm. Yeah, I think we'll give this a go. And because I've got that testing that I want to do, that might be a good point to we'll see, but yeah, I want to I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying, to be honest. Let's just do a thing, hey? Let's just do a thing. So can I... Any guesses on the working width that they used? Let's see if 10 meters works. No. Right, 9.5. No. Close though. 9.3. No. What size headers have we got? It'd be interesting to know this, I think. Grain headers of the sort of around... So it looks like it's got to be 8.5. That doesn't look small enough, like a big enough delta to be 8.5. That is not 8.5, okay. 8. Why is that not changing? I guess that is, but that's not. I'm confused. Confused.com. H. There's some sort of offset? No. We need 2 headlands. Working with 8. Yeah, work up. No. Why is that not recalculating stuff? Let's stop trying to do that. Let's turn that off. Maybe if I reset it, actually. No. H. Reset. And then go to headlands. No. 8 meters. 8 meters. Okay. Right. That's... not really. Let's stop faffing and just do the job, shall we? They didn't say a particular size of bale that they wanted, did they? So let's just make big bales. Onwards to victory. That's just a decent amount of money for a baling contract. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. Might mean it's going to take me bloody ages, but you know, we'll see. Let's turn the map off because we don't need that flashing away at us continuously. So yeah, I've got my lights on. Yeah. Well, anywho, to the thing, I guess. Guaranteed crop prices updated as well. I have since found out that the change that I made means that it now conflicts with liftable bales and pallets, particularly the pallets in liftable bales and pallets. Now, if you're on PC, which probably most of you are, that doesn't matter because you can use super strength. The problem is that it loads after liftable bales and pallets in it, so it overwrites that. I have contacted Giants about doing another update. I'm waiting. I've had one message back from them. I'm waiting to hear back from them again because obviously it means changing the file name again. So yeah, bit frustrating. A bit of me wishes I hadn't started the process and had just left it as it was, because it worked and it didn't interfere with things like liftable bales and pallets. It's one of those, you try and do a good thing and other things happen. So yep. Oh well. And this is part of the why I'm doing less modding in FS25, because someone messaged me to tell me about it, and I checked it, and they messaged me on Saturday evening and said that someone had told them about the issue, and I checked it and I was like, yeah, that's a problem. It's very easy to fix, but it means changing the file name again, which is a faff. And so yeah, it's like, meant I spent a lot of Saturday evening stressed about that, and that's why I don't want to do much modding in FS25, because it's stuff that's kind of out of my control to some extent. Now I could have more thoroughly tested it, but and you could say, well, you should have more thoroughly tested it to start. And yeah, there's an argument that I should. I tested it with the mod that I'd been asked about making it compatible with, and I just didn't think. So this time I've downloaded every mod that I could find that does similar things, and Yoss is the only person who does something similar to me in that he names the file with a Z. And I named mine with 2 Zs, which means it loads after liftable bales and pallets, and it needs to load before liftable bales and pallets. So if I'd only put 1 Z in, it'd have been fine, but I was being extra. And that screwed it up. Yeah. Waiting to hear back from Giants on that, hoping it doesn't take them as many weeks to do the update as it did with the last one, assuming that they're happy to do it. I get that it's a bit of a pain for them, but I don't know, we'll see. Kind of deflated me on Saturday when I found out. Yeah, and I'm mega tired today, so I really don't want to be faffing and dealing with it. I say I didn't get much sleep last night because of Mrs. D not being well, so yeah. But the earlier I can start dealing with it, the sooner it is sorted. So yeah, I've only had one person actually realize, and I guess maybe that's because it requires the combination of probably a console player and using guaranteed crop prices and liftable bales and pallets, and realizing that that's the problem, and them having updated it. So yeah, and clearly quite a few people have, but clearly not everyone has, because the last time I checked, and if I look now, a lot more people had downloaded it than had updated it. So if I go into my mod hub page and look whilst trying to drive a baler, where is it? Yeah, so guaranteed crop prices, actually, yeah, so since it was released, it's had 350,000 downloads, which is freaking insane, but only 33,000 people have updated it. So I guess there's the Venn diagram of being and I'm saying being console player because probably a lot of PC players make use of super strength, I'm assuming, So it's sort of the Venn diagram of has updated mod and is using liftable bales and pallets and has had pallets spawn and has tried to lift them. It's probably quite small. So, yeah. I don't know. Anyway. And equally, the mini BGA, considering it's only been out since Friday. Was it Friday or Thursday? Something like that. It's got 36,000 downloads. To put that in perspective, actually, let's go back to the other page. So why I think that's quite good. The original version has I find it. Why is it so hard to find stuff? So the original version has 433,000 downloads, but obviously that's been out for quite a long time. But then if we look at, say, the pellet production that I made for Maze Plus, that's been out for quite a long time in FS22, it has 19,000 downloads. So it's done not quite double that in a few days. And the same for the CCM fermenter. Struggling to see that in my list and drive. Let's just stop the tractor for a second. Pellet production. Only the improvised animal sheds, which I thought was quite a good mod, only got 34,000 downloads. Yeah, so it's done more than that already. I thought that was quite a cool mod, but I guess people didn't like it. So, anywho. Oh yeah. Currently, I'm not planning to do any more mods in FS25. Guaranteed crop prices for me was a no-brainer because it was an easy mod to make and it was one of my most popular. The mini BGA, my intent was always to release it if the model existed. When the model didn't exist, it was a no until basically a bunch of you guys wanted it. And Monarchs helped me understand how to do the convert. So without those two things, it would not have existed. So that's it currently for FS25. There are things I would like to do, but I just do not want to deal with any more opportunities for the stuff that frustrates me about being a modder. So yeah, I will stick to doing what I do and that'll be it. There are productions that I would love to see small fast versions of. Hopefully other modders will make them. And on Frontier, and I'm sorry I keep using it as a reference, it's a save I'm playing a heck of a lot on FarmSim. We've modified the base game dairy because the dairy is so frustratingly slow. I'm sure another modder is going to make a fast dairy. I'd love to have a fast version of the small dairy that exists. I don't really see a point in making the farm dairy this time because Giants have a really nice model of the dairy. And I'm pretty sure they won't accept a mod that's just an XML edit of that. So, clever modders, please, someone make one. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like a time versus reward thing, and I don't mean in terms of reward and stress balance thing, and I don't mean reward versus financial reward. I don't really see the financial reward from submitting mods to ModHub as a thing because my modding is very low volume. I like that you guys enjoy the mods that I make. The dopamine hit from that is really nice for me. but I have to counter that with the stress that comes from some of this stuff, like getting a message from someone saying that, you know, one of my mods conflicts with someone else's mod. That kind of stuff just causes me massive, even if it's not a problem for a lot of people, it causes me massive internal conflict and stress. Part of how my brain works. And managing that is better for my mental health. So, and yeah, these sorts of things we have to think about in life. This is, as I always say, this is a hobby for me. Although I sometimes talk about running it as a business because that's common sense, still a hobby. And so I have to look at it from a point of view of, do I want to do the bits of the hobby that induce more stress, or the bits of the hobby that are less stressful? And playing video games and turning them into videos is way less stressful, ultimately. So, yeah. And, you know, making spreadsheets and having fun in PowerPoint, way less stressful. That's it. If so, I want to do the weeds video. If you guys have got ideas, and I have got a list of some that people have given me that I'm going to have a look at some point. But if you've got ideas for bits of the game that you would like analysed, stick them below. As always, no guarantee that I will look at them. Don't be offended if I don't, because they have to capture my interest as well. But like the weeds one, just it wasn't even on my list of things to do. But I think it sort of was in the background, but suddenly it's leapt into my brain. And your idea might be that nugget that gets me excited. So, yeah. Stick them below. Because I have to admit, I've got a bit apathetic about tutorials, partly because they're not doing the views the way they used to. And I think that's maybe because more people are doing tutorials now because they've seen that they get good views. I don't know. Oh, we've got hail. And in a way, it's quite nice to just play the game and chill out and ramble and not have to think. And it not take ages, but it's nice to have a list of things. So when I go, actually, I really want to, I want to sit and do a thing, to have that list so that I can do a thing. Yeah. But I'm really not motivated by courseplay and auto drive tutorials at the moment. I've got a really long list of ones to do, but they just don't excite me at the moment, which is why there haven't been lots of them. One moment, dear viewer. Yeah, I don't know. That's it. It's let's collect on that. I'm not going to pay any off the loan because we want the cash. Any more interesting little jobs? The money from that is interesting, but I know that's going to take absolutely ages. No, not really. I mean, we could do that with auto load and it would take seconds, but that just feels like stealing money to me. Yeah, they're all okay. Let's check time saving stock check. We've got silage now. Awesome. Now, should we put that through the BGA? That's going to be worth about 28 grand. So that would take us up to 38, 46. We've almost got enough, actually, if we sold the lettuce. And yeah, we've almost got enough. Almost got enough, I think. But equally, with the grim weather here and where we are, I think. Why do I always end up sat in the Deutsch when we end videos? I don't know. But we are going to end the video here. So thanks for watching, folks. Hope you have enjoyed today's ramble. Thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channels. Appreciate your guys' continued support. Yeah, ideas for arm sim tutorials, or analyses videos, stick them below. And see you all next time.